Hello everyone, welcome back to another Marvel Crisis Protocol Battle Report for the channel. Today for you we have an 18 threat match between the Asgardians and Wakanda. I'm not entirely sure why they would be fighting each other, especially over such an arid, horrible looking wasteland, but they are, for whatever reason. Well, I guess the objectives are the reason. But without further ado, let's take a look at the teams and get started. So 4 miniatures are making up Team Asgard. This time we've got the 2 heavy hitters. Of course Thor's the leader, because he's their only leader option still currently. I think when they add Heimdall they'll probably make him a leader, or maybe if they do like an 8 threat Odin or something. Either way, then we have Angela, so they're taking up a hefty chunk of points, 10 of the points, the threat value that is, between them. Then we also have Loki of course, and Hela taking up the rest. Their tactics cards are Odin's Blessing, Sibling Rivalry, Medpack, Seeing Red, and Rainbow Bridge. And there are a massive 6 miniatures in the Wakandan list for the 18 threat. The King and Queen of Wakanda are here, so T'Challa is the leader of course, but his Queen, well, not sometimes, Storm is here, and then we have the rest of the Wakandan affiliation available, so we have Killmonger, Shuri and Okoye, but then also to fill out the last couple points, Black Widow has come along to help. And their tactics cards have come over here: Wakanda Forever, Advanced R&D, Red Room Training, Mission Objective and Vibranium Shielding. And here are the 2 threat cards being played. The Extraction is the threat value selected for Fear Grips the World as Worthy Terrorized Citizens. Always a popular one, the 4 hammers on the map. You get +1 attack die if you hold a hammer, but tactics cards cost 1 more. And there's 4 of them on the map. And then the Secure, haven't seen this one in quite a while actually. Cosmic Invasion, Black Order descends on Earth. So that's the 4 cosmic vaults on the map. You score 1 for every one you're securing in the cleanup phase. Then during the power phase, although we'll probably just cover that in the cleanup for each turn, if you roll a crit or a wild, you get knocked away from the vault for small, I think, yeah, small, and gain 2 power as well. So a chance to get lots of power and lots of damage. It might end up being a quick one as a result. They also both use map D, so Vault Hammer, Vault Hammer, Vault Hammer, and Vault Hammer. So we'll get the 2 teams set up and be back at deployment. So we are all set up and good to go. Team Asgard is on your left, Wakanda is on your right, and Wakanda do have first activation. The Asgardians will also have some passes because there are 4 activations to 6. Power phase, all the Asgardians get 2 power, all the other team get 1 I believe, and we can take a quick look at where they're deployed. Black Widow is down here by herself, and we have Storm, Okoye, T'Challa, Shuri, and then Killmonger up there at the top, and then just the 4 minis of course over here. So we have Thor and his brother next to each other, Hela over here, and Angela right up there. So with that we can jump into battle round 1. I imagine it will be a quick battle round 1 of just positioning, but then from then on an absolute murder fest. So Natasha got the game started. She moves along and was easily able to use both her movements to position herself behind the cover there, and spent her 1 power to pick up the hammer that was on this vault. So she's now holding the vault, holding a hammer, and hopefully is going to be safe from any hammer throws and such from the top left there. It was a classic turn 1 play for Asgard, as Sibling Rivalry, i.e. Get Help, was played because Thor and Loki started next to each other. So they each pay 1, and then Thor chucks Loki medium, and then he wouldn't suffer collision, etc. But that's not important. It's just chucking him up the board so that he can still get 2 actions and cause a problem with his AoE bubble of making powers more expensive. He is just within 1 of the portal and the hammer there. And then for Thor's actual activation, because it was his turn, he double medium flew right over here to contest this vault and face down Natasha. Killmonger activated and double medium moved in order to do much like what Black Widow did. Sit next to the vault at the top of the map. He paid 1 power to pick up the hammer that was there and positioned himself such that he's hopefully going to force movements before any attacks that might come in against him this turn. Angela activated next for Asgard, and she moves long. It didn't quite put her within range 2 of Killmonger to do her Ziphos Sword of the Stars, her basic strike more or less. So instead she spent 1 on Blade of Ichor, which as long as you roll at least a hit, she gets to pursue before damage is dealt small. So that's why she ended up right next to him despite doing an attack. However, even though she did get the hit in the roll, he fully blocked the damage. But it did mean that she's now contesting that vault. Black Panther activated next for Wakanda, and he's pretty much just chilling. He did a tiny move to the far side of that vault there, paid 1 to pick up the hammer that was there, and is just going to stay there and secure for now until he decides where to go next turn. Second last activation for Asgard was Hela, and she double medium moved up next to Angela, meaning that Killmonger should probably be feeling pretty threatened right now, but she can't attack him this turn. Another double medium move activation, this time for Okoye, in order to come down here so that she and Black Widow outnumber Thor for holding this vault. We're already to the last activation for the Asgardians in Battle Round 1. It was the God of Mischief himself, Loki. He paid 1 of his 2 power to pick up the hammer at the vault there, and in order to secure it for some points, he is just staying there. So that means that Storm and Shuri get to do whatever they want to take us to the end of the first round. So Shuri activated and moved past Black Panther up to here with her first action, and then her second action was to fire her Panther Gauntlets into Hela. She hit her, it gets reduced to 1 damage, she just generates a flat 1 power off of it, but pushes her away small. Incidentally, it's good that that reduces damage by 1, because Hela whiffed her attack, defense roll rather, and the attack roll was fantastic. It would have done 6 damage, so that would have been an insta-daze, so she got off lightly. And to take us to the end of Battle Round 1, Storm moved up and then shot a lightning bolt at the God of Thunder because she thought that was a good idea for some reason, and Thor fully blocked it, so that does take us to the scoring. So at the end of Battle Round 1, Wakanda was able to secure 3 of the Celestial Hammers for 3 victory points, as well as 2 of the Cosmic Vaults. Black Panther holding that one over there, and Okoye and Black Widow holding this one down here. The Asgardians have only 1 of the Celestial Hammers for 1 victory point, and holding 1 vault, the one that Loki's holding at the back there. The one that Killmonger is next to was contested by Angela. Now in the power phase of round 2 is where you would do the Cosmic Vault, kind of releasing energy and pushing people back on crits and wilds. Handling that now after scoring, just so that we can do it as part of a recap. The only people to be pushed was Black Widow, just she's been pushed back and gained 2 power, and Angela. She got pushed away and has also gained 2 power, and it will be the Asgardians, unless they pass, going first in Battle Round 2. So Battle Round 2 got started with Angela not living up to her potential in any way, shape or form. She ended up doing 2 Blades of Ichor because the first one didn't even have a success on a hit, so she couldn't get within whatever distance 2 of Killmonger. And the second one did, but neither got through his defenses. His defense rolls were fantastic. It's only 5 energy to be fair, but yeah, he's been doing very well. But the second one did have a hit, so that's why Angela has moved. So she wasted her turn, basically. Didn't achieve a single thing. But during her turn, Rainbow Bridge was played. Any Asgardian can pay 3, and those that do are placed within 3 of their current position. Hela and Thor both spent 3. Thor's kind of given up this vault over here, and has moved over here. And Hela has positioned herself with her back against the wall so that Shuri can't push her away, and she's contesting the vault. And will hopefully be able to actually damage Killmonger, but I guess we'll see. So first activation for Wakanda was Killmonger, and he's doing a little bit of a tactical play. He didn't just stay over there to get murderized once the rolls start being at least average instead of terrible. He double medium moved and has fled back to this vault over here with Black Panther, I guess deciding that if they can just keep their majority on the hammers and maybe a portal or 2, sorry, not portal, a vault, then Asgard won't be able to catch up because they don't have the numbers, and it's going to be hard to find an answer to that question with them, I think. Asgard opted to use a pass, so it was back over to Wakanda. Shuri activated, spent 1 action to medium move to that precise angle, such that she could then fire her Panther Gauntlets into Angela. She got, well, more than 1 hit through, but it does 1 damage regardless, generates her 1 power, and pushed Angela back there, meaning that Hela's going to have to stay there to claim that vault, assuming the Black Panther or someone doesn't run over there. Then, to finish off her turn, Advanced R&D was played, which is apt because she's on this version of the card at least. She can spend up to 5, she spent 4, and she gave power to Black Panther, Killmonger, Storm and Okoye. They all got 1 power from her there. So Hela did decide to activate, and she started by spending 2 on Claim Soul, so she could steal Shuri's soul as long as it does damage, which it did. That gives her her first soul token of the 3 she can hold. It only did 1 damage though, well, as it was evident after the next attack, because Shuri is within 2, she did her Hellforged Blade, 5 physical, the Claim Soul was 6 mystic for the record, Shuri's 3/3/3 defense. It was fully blocked. the rolls for Asgard have not been good. The defense rolls for Wakanda have been fantastic. The attack rolls have been garbage. And it sucks because it's costing them the game this early. And I don't think anyone wants to see that happen to a team. You don't want to lose just because every single dice roll went against you. But that's the way it's feeling so far. They could still pull something back, of course. But yeah, Hela did 1 damage to Shuri. And that's it. Well, with Wakanda feeling sorry for Asgard, Black Widow activated and had basically a nothing turn. Just moved back into position next to the vault, out of line of sight of Thor, so he would have to move if he wanted to attack her. And keep in mind, she does have the hammer for this side of the table, and she has stealth, so he would have to be within 3 as well. But she didn't do anything else. She only spent 1 action. So Thor moved up medium and then did his basic 6 dice physical strike on Killmonger, who does have good physical defense of 4. He managed to get 2 damage through, no wilds for the throw. I think that's the first time this match that Asgard has done more than 1 damage, which is very telling. Like an over-territorial cat, Black Panther activated, spent 2 on Pounce to chuck himself into Thor, and you might notice that Thor is a bit further back than he was before. The Pounce itself did 2 damage to him. Black Panther followed up with his basic strike. That did a casual 3 more damage. Thor's got 1 health left on his healthy side. Also includes a pushback because he's small enough to do that now with the changed card. He used to have no cap on size, if you aren't aware. And then for his other action, because Pounce was just superpower, he just pulled back. He just went back to guarding his vault. Things are not good for Asgard. This is reminding me, like, a long time ago on the channel. It might have been the last time the Guardians of the Galaxy prior to their changes was on the channel. There was just a horrific game where you're playing as a not so great team, and just every dice roll was going against them. That game haunts my memories, and this is starting to feel a little bit like that. So it's only Loki left to go for Asgard, but he used a pass, so he's still got an activation to do. In response to that, Wakanda activated Okoye and immediately unactivated her. They still have Storm left though after Loki does something. Well, what can you do? Loki is going to stay there and claim that victory point from that vault. If he gets pushed forwards, or away from it, it might get him into the thick of it for next turn. And for Storm's turn, she doesn't want to try and daze Thor this turn, because it would be much more advantageous for him to be dazed before getting an activation or during a turn. So she's ignoring him and went down here next to this vault to try and generate some extra power, because it doesn't need any help being claimed. So that does take us to the end of Battle Round 2, which is... it's already looking so bad for Asgard. It's just... oh, they're not having a fun time. Oh man, so at the end of Battle Round 2... Wakanda still has 3 of the Celestial Hammers for 3 victory points. Killmonger and Black Panther are holding the vault over there, and then obviously the 3 ladies down here are holding this for 2 more victory points, giving them a total of 5 gained, taking them to a total of 10. I think they've gained 5 in both turns. Asgard did a little bit better this turn. They still have the 1 hammer, of course, but they have 2 portals this time instead of just the 1, because Hela's holding the 1 up there, and Loki is holding the 1 over there, and he's still holding a hammer. So they gained 3 victory points, taking them to 5. So 10 plays 5. As we go into Battle Round 3, Asgard maintain priority. Oh, didn't do the portals, hang on. Oh, literally the only person to be pushed by one of the vaults was Black Panther, so the Cosmic Vault gave him 2 power, but he was blown back by the force of the infusion, I guess. So with that, we're jumping into Battle Round 3. So Thor was having none of this and did eventually end up over here, but he started by spending 1 to chuck his hammer at Killmonger. He did 1 damage, also applied the shock rather, to reduce the benefit he's getting from that hammer. If indeed Wakanda ever needs to actually throw a punch, because they seem to be winning comfortably despite never attacking with anything other than Panther gauntlets. Well, no, that's not true, Black Panther attacks, but still. Then he did I spent another 3 on For Asgard, which is a move and an attack. 6 dice physical into Killmonger's 4 physical defense. He did 1 damage, but he got a wild though. The attack did no damage. But he got a wild, so before damage is dealt, you get to chuck, and he threw him into the car. So that's where the 1 damage came from. Sorry, I forgot. Imagine me thinking an attack did damage. That's ridiculous. And then Thor ended his turn by blowing the rest of his power. 2 more, well, not the rest of it. He's still got 2 left, I think, or 1. He spent 2 to heal himself for 3 with Med Pack. Had considered trying to get over here to do God of Thunder with the 7 power I think he started with on his turn, but he couldn't get close enough in a single move, and For Asgard would take up too much power to get him in there. Plus, hitting these 3 ladies probably isn't going to make as big a difference because only one of them has a hammer. Black Panther was first up for Wakanda, and one long move was more than enough to get him into position back at the vault. Then he did a basic strike, including a push against Thor, did 2 damage to him, pushed him back small, so he's stuck over there. Hell activated and did 2 Hellforged Blades on Shuri. The first one did 1 damage with no wilds. The second one was going to do 1 damage with 2 wilds, but she paid 1 for the Wakanda affiliation bonus to reroll a dice, and she fully blocked it, but because there was wilds, she did get bled. So 2 5-dice physical attacks from Hela resulted in 1 more damage to Shuri and a bleed. Could be better. So the apparently indestructible Shuri activated, moved medium, and then shot her Panther Gauntlets into Angela once again. It was great that it does 1 set damage, because otherwise it would have done 4. So Angela got pushed back, 1 damage. Shuri did not remove her bleed, so she's also taking a point of damage for that. She's up to 3 damage of her 5 HP on her healthy side. She's the most damaged. No, actually no, Killmonger is the most damaged now. So Angela activated, moved along back up, so she's helping control that vault over there. Did a Zephyr Sword of the Stars, basic 6-dice physical on Shuri, and did an amazing 1 damage. She survived on 1 health, although she will have to cure her bleed next turn. If it weren't just an inconvenience to flip the table, this table would have already been flipped. Storm flew on up and then fired an Eye of the Storm lightning bolt at Thor, boosting it up from 4 to 6 energy dice. It did 2 damage. Thor's defense roll, to be fair, was actually really good. It was 6 damage coming in after all said and done, and he blocked 4 of it, so it's not terrible, but not good enough, because he actually, does that daze him? I forgot he healed. No, that does exactly enough to daze him. He had 6, or he has 6 rather, and he's got 4 damage on him, so he is dazed, and we'll be flipping his card at the end of the turn. Let's see what Loki can do, question mark. Well, this is hilarious, but Loki is passing twice, so for the first pass, Black Widow's activating and unactivating. For his second pass, Okoye is activating and unactivating. He's going to do nothing else but hold the point, so really it just comes down to what Killmonger decides to do. So all Killmonger did was shake his shock stats that he got from Thor hitting him in the face with a hammer, and then he moved slightly closer to Black Panther. No surprises, but just because he's almost KO'd, or dazed rather, and he wants to be close enough to use the mission objective tactics card so the hammer doesn't fall to the floor. Not that they really need anything fancy like that to win at this point, but hey, we're going into cleanup for Battle Round 3. So at the end of Battle Round 3, Wakanda is still holding on to 3 hammers for 3 victory points. They're still holding on to the back vault there, and the vault down here. Incidentally, this vault was the only one to push people back. Both Black Widow and Okoye got shoved back for 2 power and a push, but that's after scoring happened. So that takes Wakanda to 15. So it's basically impossible to stop them getting the 1 victory point they require to win in Battle Round 4. We're going to play it out just so that the Asgardians can experience the full array of emotions and similes to embarrassment, because it's been a bad one. In terms of their victory points gained, though, they hold the back portal, they hold this portal, and Loki has a hammer. So they did gain 3, taking them to 8, but trailing quite far behind 15. And Thor is flipping his card, of course, and they're retaining first activation. So Battle Round 4 got started with Thor on his flip side sitting on a bunch of power. He immediately moved right up to this vault to contest it, and then spent 6 on God of Thunder, his area 2 7-dice energy attack, and you might not be surprised by this, especially given you can see the damage markers. Black Panther fully blocked the 4 damage he would have taken. He does count blanks as successes because it's energy based. And Killmonger took 1, which means he lived on 1 HP. So all that power spent, all those dice rolled, and couldn't even take out the last 2 health on Killmonger, which is basically a good time to say enough is enough. Asgard is going to concede. Wakanda has won. This is over. So I know there is a contingent of people that want to see full games played out even if victory is assured for one side. But this has honestly been just miserable. Every single dice roll, almost literally, I think there was a couple of okay ones, but almost literally every single roll for Asgard was bad. And the defense rolls for Wakanda was on fire, just absolutely on fire. Everything was going wrong based purely on unstatistical results on dice rolls. And it doesn't feel good on either side of that. It doesn't feel, especially doesn't feel great to be rolling those kind of results and seeing everything fail. But it's not like you're winning from superior tactics or outplaying. It's just the dice are in your favour, or not in your favour, as the case may be. So that was honestly one of the worst matches in terms of the dice rolls being so swingy. Variance just means that sometimes that happens. Sometimes one side gets all the good rolls, sometimes one side gets all the bad rolls. And it leads to situations like this where, even from turn 2, it was obvious that Asgard could not win. They just, even if they'd started rolling like perfect, well, I guess if they'd rolled perfectly then it'd be different. Angela couldn't take out Shuri. 3 defense, 5 HP, rolling 6 dice against her 4 times, I believe, for a total of 2 damage. Hela did the same with 5 dice, 4 times? 3 or 4 times, 1 damage plus a bleed. God of Thunder, 7 dice AoE, 1 damage. It's just, sometimes it is one of the worst games for that having happened to this degree. So it's noteworthy for that, if nothing else. But yeah, this will probably end up being quite short. Well, not counting my rambling about this, of course. But I can only apologise, but it was remarkably one-sided in terms of the dice rolls. Never seen it that bad before, ever. Well, anyway, I hope you still enjoyed seeing the suffering. If nothing else, maybe you like seeing the Asgardians lose. If so, this was the video for you. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Ta-ta for now.